guys, today's video is going to be a follow-up video to my original Diva Cup video. When I first made that video, I really didn't think it would go over that well, so thank you everyone for, leaving such nice comments and leaving your experiences with the Diva Cup. I got so many of the same questions that I figured making a dedicated video, just kind of answering questions based on my experience, would be helpful. This was my first cycle using a Diva Cup, so I haven't used it for a couple of years, but I did get a lot of comments from some of my subscribers saying that they've been using them for 7-8 years and love them. First thing I just want to say is whatever you choose to insert in your vagina is 100% your decision. I don't want to come off as preachy in this video, but when I'm passionate about something, I just tend to research a lot, and I honestly believe that the more you know, Bentley. After using the Diva Cup and researching about tampons, I was honestly blown away by what women are inserting in their bodies. I got a comment, and I'm just quoting it from my memory. Basically, it was yeah, the idea of sticking a silicone cup in my body seems a little weird, so I'm gonna stick to my tampons. What I just want to say to you and to everyone who kind of has the same idea is, number one, I hope you're using organic tampons, because the chemicals and ingredients that make up a tampon are really, really scary, and I didn't even know about this until I started researching. I will leave a link to a really good article down below. Unless your tampons are organic, chances are the cotton that was used in the tampon is genetically modified, and the pesticides and chemicals that they put on the cotton fields when they're growing the cotton, that's just going directly into your body. And also a main ingredient in tampons is rayon. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. The process of creating rayon, or I don't know how to pronounce it, rayon, I'm assuming, creates this chemical called dioxin, and dioxin is very, very dangerous. Women's vaginal walls are extremely absorbent. I guess prolonged exposure to dioxin or any of those other chemicals can lead to a multitude of risks. And I know you're probably thinking everything causes cancer, and I've said this so many times in my videos. I mean, I stand in front of the microwave, I sleep with my phone next to my head. I know that people do dangerous things, little stupid things every day. But if I can do one less thing to put my body in danger, or, decrease my risk of infertility or whatever, I'm gonna do it. If you do use tampons, please, please, please use organic tampons. I'm not a hippie. I really need to get better at recycling, but this is when it comes to your body, I think it's definitely safer to be more aware. And I think that since menstrual cups aren't really taught about in school or really kind of advertised as much as tampons are advertised, a lot of people aren't aware that menstrual cups are a thing, and that's why I wanted to make this video on my channel. I know I have an audience, especially of young girls, and I kind of wanted to be that voice for them. I am just kind of sharing the stuff that I've learned over the past week or so from researching and using the Diva Cup. I got a lot of the same questions, and I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me any questions that you may have, because I realized that this isn't really talked about or advertised. Another thing, the pad and tampon industry is almost $1 billion industry, and they're making money off of necessities that women need. I just think it's really important to educate yourself, especially on this topic. So I'm gonna go ahead and start answering your questions I just asked on my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram if you're not already. A lot of the questions I got were about changing the Diva Cup. Now, you can wear your Diva Cup for up to 12 hours. Of course, you need to keep it clean, boil it if you want to, which is what I do at the end of my cycles, or what I've done at the end of my cycles. As long as you keep it clean, it's gonna be clean. That's like saying Tupperware isn't clean because you wash it and reuse it, For me, I'm never out of my house really for more than 12 hours, or out of the vicinity of a private bathroom, at my family's house or Mike's house or a friend's house. That was one of my main concerns also. I totally get it. Our bodies don't produce as much blood as we think. I said this in my original video, but I thought that my body was producing a lot more blood than it actually is, and over time you'll find that your periods become lighter and less intense. Literally, I could put this cup in before I left for the airport, fly to Greece, make it all the way to the island in Greece, and I'd still be okay. If you are out of the house for more than 12 hours a day, I've heard some women, they bring a water bottle and they rinse it. I also got a lot of questions about emptying the Diva Cup, if you get blood on your hands, if it's messy. In my experience, it is not messy. You might get a little bit of blood on your hands, but in my personal experience, the blood stays pretty well contained. So if I TMI, but if I wipe after I go to the bathroom, and then insert the Diva Cup. I'm pretty much keeping the blood in the cup, so it's not gonna like pour out and overflow. I think it also comes down to knowing your body. If you have a heavier flow, you might not be able to go 12 hours. And I think it just kind of, you know, you kind of learn as you go. You kind of learn how long you can go without emptying it. But I believe I read something that women generally make 30 ounces of blood their entire period. I could say like the most on my heaviest day of having my period, I only filled up half of the cup. The silicone cup isn't like flimsy and floppy. It's not gonna like whoop, flop over and there's blood everywhere. It's a very firm, pliable cup, which is good for inserting. It's very comfortable, but it's not gonna plop all over. If you're sitting over the toilet, it's just gonna fall into the toilet if it does fall. So that's not something I'm really worried about. And also I've gotten some comments, and from videos I've watched and articles I've read, a lot of women do like emptying their Diva Cup and reinserting it in the shower, which I haven't tried, but I think that's pretty smart because then you could just like pour it right down the drain, clean it off, and reinsert it. Might you get blood on your fingers? Yes, but that's why there's soap. That's why there's water. You can just wash your hands. It's not like I'm telling you, you know, to take the little cup and dip your fingers in and do like a tribal face makeup. It's just your fingers. Like, I mean, it's really not that gross. And there's antibacterial soap and water for a reason. Did it take me a while to get it in? The first time I used it, I'd say it took me about 5 minutes to get it right. But then once I figured out the fold that worked for me and how to get it in, like once you kind of like figure out how it works, it just goes in a lot easier. And now it takes about the same time for me to insert a tampon. Like, it really doesn't take a long time at all. And in terms of leaking, I really haven't had any leaking issues. I also got a lot of questions about if I sleep with it and if it's comfortable to sleep in, and I slept in tampons. If it's not comfortable to sleep in for you, then maybe you're not wearing the right cup, maybe it's not like adjusted properly. I just had a really easy first like experience, which I was really thankful for, because I know I was getting comments saying, oh, you might have to take a couple cycles, but like by the second time I inserted it, it was like smooth sailing, like, slipped right in. I also got some questions about taking it out and if I struggled the first time taking it out. And like I said in that video, I did have a little bit of an issue the first time I took it out, because I didn't realize, I didn't read how to take it out properly, so I was just like pulling on the stem. I was really scared. The stem is like really tiny, so it was kind of hard to like get a good grip on it, and I was kind of nervous. I was like, what if I have to go to the hospital and be like, hey, I have a Diva Cup stuck in my vagina? I ended up figuring out that if you take your fingers and like grab, like let's say this is the Diva Cup base, if you take your fingers, you know, get up in there, grab the base and then like pull it out, it comes right out. You might feel a little suction, nothing uncomfortable, but that's just because there are little suction air holes just so that it stays in place. And I think that's why it's like so stable for me and I can jump and move and run and it doesn't move. It's because of those suction holes. I kind of look forward to taking it out. I know it sounds gross, but I look forward to taking it out because I can like look at the little cup and it's really cool. One of my favorite things about the Diva Cup is how it helps me understand what's actually going on in my menstrual system, which is why I think it'd be good for younger girls to try it. Just because it kind of gives you an idea of like what actually is coming out of your body, because for so long I thought I was losing like a cup of blood a day, and I got a comment like, oh, like when you rinse it off, do you put on a tampon or do you do something like before you put it back in? Like, we're not faucets. Like, our bodies are not pouring out blood. We lose a lot less blood than we think. So. Plus, if you have little demon dogs like I do, this is Bentley, he's my little Pomeranian, I would put, you know, my pads, or mostly pads and tampons in the trash can next to my bathroom. Sometimes my dogs would go in and take my pads and tampons. So that's another perk. I don't have to pick up like my tampons and chewed up pads off the floor, because I have a little vampire dog. I mean, that's kind of another perk. I'm sure people's dogs do that as well, but for some reason Bentley just loves getting pads and tampons. That's gross. The little incest dog. There are just so many reasons why I prefer a Diva Cup over pads and tampons, and honestly, okay, I'll take these off. Honestly, I feel like once you try one, you will definitely be converted for life. And I swear, Bentley, if you eat my Diva Cup, you will be in a lot of trouble. So that was my little follow-up video to my first Diva Cup video. I honestly feel like it's the way of the future. Like, now that I used it for one cycle, I'm like, how have I been using tampons for so long? Especially since reading about all the dangers of tampons. And you guys know I'm not like a hippie. I really recommend trying a menstrual cup. It doesn't have to be the Diva Cup. There are a ton of different brands out there. I will say though, I got some comments from some girls saying that they ordered like $1 cups. unless they're disposable from like reputable companies, I really wouldn't recommend ordering cups from like kind of sketchy sources or like $1 cups, because you don't know exactly what they're made out of. You don't know if like they're using a high grade silicone or if they're just using like, I don't know, like bottled plastic bottles. Like, you just really want to be safe. So do your research. There are a ton of different cups out there. You might have to try a couple to find the ones that are like right fits for you. I know some of you are freaked out by the idea of like taking it out or seeing your blood or anything like that, but honestly, this might sound tough, this might sound harsh, this might be some tough love, but just get over it. Like, just try it. If you are gonna stick to tampons on pads, please get organic tampons and pads, just for like the good of your body, because all the chemicals that are in those tampons, I'm onto you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'm trying to think of any, but if you have any, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great day or night depending on when you watch this, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. See, he loves it.